Yes, thank you. I'll share my screen. Just over to you, Guru Maharaj.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Can hear you.
Yeah, give me some feedback. Can you hear me? Because we're having trouble every day about this microphone. I have to know whether you hear me or not. Can you hear? Pratibama, can you hear?
We can hear Guru Maharaj. It is a little bit faint.
Oh, okay. Pratibama is sleeping or what? What's he doing? Okay. All right.
Oops, sorry, I was clicking on mute. Sorry. Yes, we can hear. I can hear you, Guru Maharaj.
So let me know if the transmission becomes scratchy and less audible. Let me know anytime it happens. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Visudhan Bhagavan Saksana Adhyana Yana Kumani. Om Maya Vishnu Sri Krishna is no other than the inconceivable original personality of Godhead. He is the first Narayan, the supreme enjoyer, but he is moving amongst the descendants of King Vishnu, just like one of us, and he is bewildering us with himself created energy and Vishnu. The Vedic system of acquiring knowledge is the deductive process. The Vedic knowledge is pursued perfectly by the civic consciousness and authority. Such knowledge is never dogmatic and ill-conceived by less intelligent person. The mother is the authority to verify the identity of the father. He is the authority for sense confidence and knowledge. Therefore, authority is not dogmatic. In the Bhagavad Gita, this truth is confirmed in the second verse of the fourth chapter. The perfect system of learning is to receive it from authority. The very same system is accepted universally as truth, but only the false argument speaks against it. For example, modern spacecraft fly in the sky, and scientists say that they travel to the other side of the moon. Men believe these stories blindly because they have accepted the modern science as authority. The authorities speak and then the people in general believe in it. But in the case of Vedic truth, they have been taught not to believe. Even if they accept them, they give a different interpretation. Each and every man wants a direct perception of Vedic knowledge, and foolishly they deny it. This means that the misguided man will believe one authority as scientists, but will reject the authority of the Vedas. The result is that people have denigrated. Here is the authority speaking about Sri Krishna as the personality of Godhead and the Narayan. Even such an person as the authority of Sankar has said in the beginning of his commentation of the Bhagavad Gita that in line the person of Godhead is united with the creation. The universe is one, it's a material creation, and Narayan is transcendental with such material power to knowledge. Bhishma Dev is one of the 12 Mahajans who knows the principles of transcendental knowledge. This confirmation of Lord Sri Krishna being the original personality of Godhead is corroborated by the impersonalist Prabhupada. And all other acharyas has often confirmed the statement, and thus there is no chance of not accepting Lord Krishna as the original personality of Godhead. Bhishma Dev said that he is the first Narayan. This is also confirmed by Ramaji in Bhagavatam 14. Krishna is the first Narayan. In the spiritual world, Vaikuntha, there are unlimited members of Narayan. They are all the same personality of God and considered to be plain expansions of the original personality of Krishna. The first form of the Lord Sri Krishna, the first expanse is the form of Baladeva, and Baladeva expands in so many other forms such as Sankar, Karshana, Arjuna, Aniruddha, Vasudeva, Narayan, Krishna, Vishnu, Rama, and Krishna. All these expansions are one and the same Vishnu concept. And Sri Krishna is the original self of all time. He is therefore the direct personality of Godhead. He is the creator of the material world, and he is the predominant being of the divine and all the substance of life. Therefore, his movements among human beings are never sort of bewilderment. The Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita, the human person the foolish person consider him to be one of the human beings without knowing the interest of his movement. The bewilderment body Sri Krishna is due to the action of the twofold internal and external energies to find the third one called marginal energy. Living entities are expansions of the marginal energy and thus they are sometimes bewildered by the internal energy and sometimes by the external energy. By internal energetic bewilderment, Sri Krishna stands himself in the mind that stands with the acceptance. Transcendental loving service to living entities in the transcendental world. And by his external energetic expansion, he incarnates himself in the material world among men, animals, and demigods, and establishes that relationship between the entities and life. Great authorities of Vishnu Dev, however, escapes to living by the nature of the world. Madhyam, the understands the mind in that really getting not the issue of life is not the time details. You must be watching the benefits from the issue. Number two is the one by the communication of seeing the body that's reflected in the time. Once the property is reflected, the spirit is like a vision and the real life to the real remember. Priya Dvaita Vedanta Haridas to the Lord by the Vision. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare. 1 minute, please. Be right back.
Devotees, can I just in between ask if you can hear Guru Maharaj or not clearly, because I have definitely disturbance from my side. So I just want to clarify if everyone else is okay or not. If you could just 1 or 2 person devotee can unmute and just let me know, please.
No, it's not good.
Yeah,
It's not
quiet.
good.
Not good. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Let me just address this to Maharaj as soon as he's back. Thank you. Yeah, I could see that there was some issues because I couldn't, I could just follow that. Yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Anyone else who's not here?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, quite a few devotees have come back that your voice is quite faint and it's not clear. So I'm not sure if we can directly connect to the laptop or
Now, can you hear me?
if you say something and let's see. We can't hear you, Guru Maharaj, at all.
How about now?
Yes, it's better.
Is it clear or just better?
It's still disturbed, but it is quite louder than it's louder than previous. Yeah. So I think it's the same case with everyone. I hope if you start speaking, Guru Maharaj, then we will see.
So in this particular verse, it's about receiving knowledge and how knowledge is coming from the perfect source, perfect knowledge. Aroha and Aroha. Aroha and Avaroha.
Yeah, it's still bad.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah, let me
Yesterday-
stop share and then let's resolve this issue so that we can continue. So maybe should we try not using the mic, Guru Maharaj? Would that help?
Right, you give it a try. Hare Krishna, can you hear that? They gave me 3 new microphones, and none of them seems to work.
Maybe I think your internet connection is maybe stop your video, Guru Maharaj, and maybe that will help. Stop your video and then audio might be good. Yeah, maybe
How
now.
about now?
For me,
Okay.
it's better. Is it better for everyone? If you can just drop a message in the chat. Yes, can hear now. Sri Devi Mataji said that she can hear. Okay, perfect. Let's see that way. Thank you. Yeah, let's start.
What if they explain, when they explained in this particular verse and so forth, is how to acquire knowledge. And there's 2 systems, Avaro, Panda, and Aroha. Aroha means going up, and Avaroha means coming down. So perfect knowledge comes from the perfect source. People want to understand knowledge from the perspective of empirical observation, argumentation, and various types of hypotheses and logic. I mean, that is a limited way to understand knowledge. The transcendental knowledge cannot be understood in those methods. Transcendental knowledge can only be understood or given through a higher authority, because transcendental knowledge is beyond the range of the senses, mind, and intelligence, and therefore it is coming down from the perfect authority. Therefore, when we hear something from the Vedic scheme, we can understand it's correct, although we don't have any direct experience with that knowledge. But we can accept it based on the fact that it's coming from a perfect source. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that he compiled the Vedas and he is the knower of the Vedas, and the Vedas are meant to know him. So being a compiler of the Vedas, he knows, and therefore whatever knowledge is given in the Vedas is coming from the pure source, Krishna. and it's coming through his different pure representatives. It's like a light. You have a light that's connected to the wall, and in those wires connected to that light, and the light, and then you go out, and then you see that the wires are connected to the building, and then the wires are connected to an electrical pole with a great electrical unit sitting there, which is transmitting that energy from another source, the powerhouse. So although the actual source of the energy is a long way off, it comes directly in a localized way. So Vedic knowledge is coming from pure source down through the succession. Evam Pananturan Prasta. Evam Raja Sayo Vidu. And that knowledge is pure because it is the power shot. It's not man-made. It's coming from the Supreme Lord himself, or through the pure devotees who are absorbed in the worship of the Supreme Lord. So both sources of these knowledge, which are identical, in essence, are actually pure knowledge. So unless we accept the Vedic truths, then we have to accept another source of knowledge, which is faulty. Just like they look through their telescopes and their microscopes, and they give us various data. Prabhupada says in modern sciences, they do all speculative and empiric observation, but the senses are imperfect and the senses are limited. Because they're limited, they're also imperfect. Therefore, any kind of sensual knowledge gathered is limited or imperfect. Unless that sensual knowledge is given, unless it comes from a higher authority down. So therefore, what is mentioned here is that there are so many Narayans. Vishnu is saying that the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. The concept of Godhead is one, but manifests in different forms of itself. But there is Adipuri. We sing that Govinda is Adipuri, the original personality of Godhead, not as Shri Krishna himself. And that is given by Narayan, that is given by Vishnu. But Krishna confirms that also, that he is the original source of everything. And also, Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita says, Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Parvitani Dhamma, Sutanam, Abhyaktivar Param. That you are the supreme truth, you are the cause of everything, and you are the primeval Lord. All of this knowledge is not only being understood by me, but it's being confirmed by great authorities like Vyas, Devara, Sita, and Narada. So the confirmation of pure knowledge is also given by the pure devotees of the Lord. So we can accept that knowledge even though we don't understand it, or we don't have although it may seem difficult to apply, we can accept it because it's coming from pure soul. But nowadays we accept the authority of the scientists or the news, just like we get news regularly of what's going on in the world. And we get news out of the world, and we accept that news as being correct because we have a belief that the news agency is telling us the truth. But this has been proven false over and over and over again. The scientists, say we never went. We got to the moon. The prophets say we never went to the moon. If they went to any planet, they went to the rocky planet. The scientists say that the sun is closer to the earth than the moon is, from The sun is farther away from the earth than the moon, by the Vedic scheme. So now the moon is farther away from the earth than the sun. So, we've been brainwashed to believe certain things in a certain way, and we carry that brainwashing mentality around, and we still accept the scientists, or the day-to-day philosophers who are just changing all the time. They come up with one set of ideas on a particular subject matter, and after some time another philosopher will come along and change that completely and reestablish something different. There are many statements by the pure devotees who say that they come up with their theories, and then they also say we're not sure that our theories are actually facts, but this is the best we have. Would any intelligent person accept that? Okay, we say this is correct, but we're not sure it's correct, but this is the best we have so far, so you should accept it as being correct. You fully accept that. Or they say, well, we'll give you the correct knowledge from the future, and we're working. I don't have any money now, but I will pay you $3 million in the future. Here's my post-dated check. So, but the Vedic scheme is not like that. It gives clear understanding. And when we practice to go perfect, we get the realization of what is being given to us is the correct authority, the supreme authority. It is not challengeable, it is not changeable, it is the absolute person. So if you want knowledge, and here we're seeing that of all the Narayans, Krishna is the original, he is the source of all the other Narayans. He appears to be one of us, but he's not. And the reason why he appears to be one of us is because he has bewildered us by his energies. So the material energy is very bewildering. What you see is not necessarily what it is. Everyone sees the forms of the world, but they don't see behind the forms what moves the forms or what changes the forms. So, for example, my bodies, even the scientists say that the body changes every 7 years. We get a brand new body. We get a brand new body. It's not that we get a better body, but we get a brand new one. In the sense that the cells break down as time goes on, and whatever is left of the cells reproduces itself to a certain level, and that is called a new body. So it's not the body is changing. The same body that we had when we were a little baby is no longer there, but we can understand, oh yes, looking at the pictures, that was me when I was a baby. But you may not be able to even connect any resemblance with the present situation, but still we understand that it's right. So it's not that the body grows, the body changes. So material is always changing, always changing. And therefore that knowledge that we receive in the secular world is imperfect, incomplete, and wrong in communications. So therefore one should learn not to believe what we hear from the scientists or from the plan makers, especially the news media. The news media is always lying to us because they want you to believe something that they want to believe but have their agenda. And so when we hear news, you should understand it's wrong. It's what they want you to believe. There may be an element of truth in there, but that's what sophistry means. They don't see how to do it. So we can never be sure of material knowledge because it's always mutable, always changeable. The transcendental knowledge is fixed, it's unmovable. And it is always correct because it's coming from the Supreme Authority itself. So those who embrace this Krishna conscious movement are getting the highest understanding of real knowledge and how it applies in the day-to-day life, in whatever we do in life, how to benefit from that. When we apply material knowledge to material situations, we create another problem. When we apply spiritual knowledge to a situation, we correct the problem, and we understand what was the problem and what caused it. So transcendental knowledge is everything. So these are they saying here that the Lord has many forms of knowledge. He is inconceivable. He is the origin. He is the original personality of Godhead. There are many Narayans. He is the original Narayan. He is the enjoyer of everything. And he comes amongst us, looking like us, but that's only because I think the rotary self-created everything. So this is the glorification of Krishna and his different manifestations as Krishna. Krishna is unlimited in the forms that he produces because the nature of the spiritual realm is that it is unlimited and it's always expanding. The material is always changing and decreasing, or what we say, denigrating. And spiritual knowledge and spiritual energy is always increasing and expansive and becoming more and more expansive, more and more greater, and more full of this transcendental quality. So therefore we have to read and understand everything we hear, see scripture. Prabhupada says, our authority is Krishna, whatever he says, that's all we need. We don't need anything else. Why? Because everything is in Krishna, or in Krishna coming through his children. And that means everything, not only the spiritual, but also the pure material as it applies to the spiritual. What I mean by pure material is the ideal position of something. What is real truth? What is real beauty? What is real knowledge? These are the ideal principles that connect one with the reality, and that comes through the Vedas. That's what Krishna said. When you know the Vedas, you only can ask somebody. I am the purpose of the Vedas. And how can we know what's way beyond them? We are like so small and so insignificant, and our intelligence is also very limited, and it's even stunted due to the words of courage. And still, we consider ourselves very intelligent. But we have very little knowledge. And whatever knowledge we have.
Sorry, I'm just going to put someone to mute. Yes, thank you. Oops.
Okay, knowledge we have, we should use it in engaging in devotional service, because then that knowledge will extend itself to greater knowledge. Anything used in the service of the Lord becomes expensive. Why? Because it's pure.
Sorry to interrupt you, Guru Maharaj. There is some noise coming in the background. Yeah, it's stopped now.
Okay, I'm just ending my talk. Okay, so that's it for today.
I think your laptop started to shake. That's a very good, very nice perspective, in despite of the technical difficulties. Thanks everyone, and thanks for your patience. While there was some issues with the sound and the volume from Marriage's side, I hope you could hear the class, and I could hear it. I just had to focus it, and just highlighting the main points. What Guru Maharaj mentioned about the purport is that perfect knowledge is coming from the perfect source, and Krishna has mentioned in Bhagavad Gita that he is the a compiler of the Vedas, so the Vedas comes from him. And also Guru Maharaj mentioned that material knowledge is is always changing, but transcendental knowledge is always fixed, and it always comes from and different forms of Lord, the different incarnations of the Lord was also mentioned. So thank you, Guru Maharaj, for your patience and still giving us a class and talks on such an important topic about the perfect knowledge, despite of the difficulties facing on your laptop and the sound. So thank you. Devotees, if you have any questions, comment, realizations, please unmute yourself and ask. And it'll be nice to take your darshans. If you can please keep your cameras on. And if you can't talk, then please type it in the chat box and I'll read it for you. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Sorry, I was on mute. Yes, Sridevi Mataji, go ahead. Sridevi Mataji, you're on mute. Yes.
Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisance. Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, your point that transcendental knowledge is actually real knowledge is well made. And I'm thinking of all the people who get convinced by what's in the newspapers, social media, television, etc., and they are very, very convinced that what they are hearing is absolute 100% true, and they go and fully. So how we can establish that what we have is the truth and that it is in everyone's interest to follow it? Question, Satyabhama, was I clear?
Yes, your initial bit, like question was clear, but after that the voice started to break. But I think Guru Maharaj, were you able to hear Sridevi Mataji's question?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's called learning how to preach. You got to preach. What is the value of your preaching? People need to understand. So that's why we write books. That's why we get classes, so people will understand.
Okay.
You can't expect to stand unless they're exposed to the truth. So we have to expose them to the truth in such a way that they can understand. That's called preaching.
Thank you.
So we see a lot of people are becoming aware that what they hear on the media is not true. So when constantly being lied to, being deceived, they're more open to hear from another source. We are that source. We came to give transcendental knowledge. And people could practice that knowledge and develop their relationship with Krishna. So bringing people in is the process of teaching. Okay. Is that clear? You want to convince somebody of something that you know is right, then you have to explain it in such a way that they can understand it for preaching.
Oops. Sridevi Mataji got disconnected, Maharaj. So I think she'll come back. She will join back. Devotees, any other questions while we wait for Sridevi Mataji? Thank you, Mara. So while we're waiting, I want to ask you one question. I spotted this line in the purport saying that Bhishmadev and Brahmaji said that Krishna was Krishna was first Narayan. So I'm assuming Krishna and Narayan, there is no different. First Narayan, as in we can say that Krishna is the origin, but he's also called Narayan. Is that correct?
Yeah. All the manifestations of the Godhead are coming from Krishna. Krishna is the source. Eti cham sampalam Krishna, whom sam Krishna is Bhagavan Swami. That's in the Bhagavatam. He is the source of all manifestations of the Swami. He is the original Vishnu, is the original Narayan.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Maharaj. Sridevi Mataji, you're back. And do you have any other cross questions? I think Maharaj replied. Did you get the reply from Maharaj, response from Maharaj? You're on mute, Mataji. Yes.
Could you please repeat what Guru Maharaj said? It was a bit muffled for me.
Sridevi is in a very an area too that it's not very good reception. Turn off your video, maybe you'll get better reception also. Now speak.
Mataji, would you like to repeat while your video is off? You're on mute.
The very last part of what Guru Maharaj said, I didn't quite catch that. It was a little muffled.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. And so when Maharaj started the class, there was something Maharaj said, which you didn't get it. So Maharaj said quite a lot of things. I'm not sure. Maharaj, if you remember, would you be able to?
What did she ask?
Yeah, Mataji, maybe it will be better if you just type it in the chat and I will read it for you. Maybe it'll be good if you can just write the specific question you have, Mataji. Thank you. Okay, so Mataji is saying the very last part of Gurudev's answer I didn't get.
Well, the answer is that if you want to convince somebody of their knowledge, they're getting sources of knowledge from somewhere else, you have to be able to speak. Prabhupada gave over 2,000 recorded lectures. Why did he speak so much? Not for his own benefit, for our benefit.
Sridevi Mataji,
What
did
are
you
we
get this?
doing? We're trying to give some, we're trying to communicate some understanding based on a particular verse. That is preaching, that is teaching. The answer is very simple. Okay, let's go to the next question.
Thank you, Maharaj. Sridevi Mataji, I hope it answers your question.
Oh, come on, let's go to the next question. Nothing could be already not in. Let's go. Next one.
Sorry, I couldn't hear the, yes, it does. Thank you. Anyone else? Sorry, if the voice is the internet is issue, then you can type in the chat and then I'll read it for you. I think that's much better to communicate at this time. Yeah. So looks like there is no other questions, Guru Maharaj. And maybe I'm not sure if we can conclude the call here. And I think maybe we can have a separate chat about internet connection so that we can resolve these issues and the volumes. And is that okay, Guru Maharaj, if we can conclude here?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Thank you. And please accept thank you so much for staying on the call and listening and having so much patience about the internet issues. We will try and resolve it as much as we can. Thank you. And thank you so much, Guru Maharaj, for your time and your patience with all of us while we asking questions with a little bit internet issues. So thank you. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
We have to improve the situation here. You know, I never have any problems when I work with other Zoom calls. It always goes smooth. It's just ours, it's like working down. So I never have any problems when I do with Harrisburg, Charlotte, with anything. It's just ours, it's